Thank you for joining me on this beautiful day for this yoga sound healing practice. We can start sitting onto our heels with our hands at our heart, just setting our own personal intention of what we'd like to cleanse from our energy. With our eyes closed, hands on our thighs, go ahead and take a nice, smooth, deep breath in, holding it. And big exhale to let it go. Again, nice deep breath in, feeling it move through your body and holding it at the top of your breath. Exhale, let it go. Feeling your belly reach up towards your spine as you empty completely, and then big breath in, holding at the top of your breath. Hold it a bit longer, sit taller, and exhale. And now coming to a natural, steady breath cycle at your own pace. Long, smooth inhales, equal exhales. This is a breath cycle we'd like to try and keep throughout this practice as we go through our yoga postures. And now just reconnecting as a class, let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath in together. Holding it here. Big exhale to ground down. Adding movement here while sitting up nice and tall, we're going to inhale and sweep our arms out and up, reaching up nice and high, all the way up and out of our waist. Exhale, hands to our heart. And doing that one more time on our inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, bringing our hands down. On your next breath, sweeping your arms out and up once more. But this time, as you exhale, we're going to twist over to our right with our left hand on our right knee, right hand behind us. Breathing into this twist, maybe gazing over your right shoulder. Exhale to center and repeating that once more. Inhale, sweeping your arms up. And exhale, while keeping that length in your spine, twist to your left. Finding stillness here, relaxing into it. And twisting back into Thunderbolt. And we're going to drop down onto each forearm while stretching over with our opposite arm. So starting with our right arm down, left hand reaching over, and then onto our left forearm, right hand reaching over. If this does become a little too intense for you, instead of dropping all the way down to your forearm, you can just drop onto your fingertips or hand. And just going at the pace of your own breath cycle. One breath, one movement. Inhaling to reach up and find length. Exhaling to settle into the stretch. Three more full breath cycles here, so 3 more times on each side on your own breath. Feeling the vibrations of this high frequency sound washing through every single cell. Allow yourself to really get lost in this movement, listening to this sound so you can become more relaxed, more receptive to its healing. One more full breath cycle here. And when you're ready, settling back into stillness, sitting in your Thunderbolt pose. Hands onto your thighs. Now to add a small back bend, shoulder opener here, step your hands back, fingertips forward. Take an inhale as you pump up through your heart space, maybe looking back if it's okay on your neck. Exhale, hands onto your thighs, chin to chest, round your upper spine. Step your hands back on your inhale. And for a few breaths, just going through this variation of our cat-cows here. Inhaling to expand up through your heart space, and exhale to tuck in, pull in into the cat variation. After your last cat posture, coming to a straight spine and bringing your right ear to your right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder, looking up, and then just rotating your head in that direction. Customizing this movement, maybe rolling deeper into spaces that you may need it more. When you're ready, rolling in the opposite direction. And just staying with this movement, staying with your breath as you listen to the singing bowl. Pausing, rotating your head in the opposite direction if you haven't done so already. One more breath here. Equal exhale. And when you're ready, swinging your legs out in front of you and extending both legs out. And we're just getting into a deeper side stretch here. So sliding your right hand down as far as you'd like as you inhale to find length through your left hand. Exhale to stretch over to your right. And just bringing awareness to your left shoulder there, ensuring that it's nice and back, nice and open. Breathing into this stretch, maybe going deeper on your next breath. Rising up. And on your next breath, begin to slide your left hand down your left leg as far as you'd like, right hand reaching up and over. Exhale to settle in, breathing deep. On every breath, just really feeling that expansion in your right rib cage as it creates more space for you to breathe deeper. Finding your center and beginning to sit up nice and tall on your next breath, walking your fingertips forward as far as you'd like while keeping your toes active, so toes pointed up to the sky. And just making any shifts, any modifications that will help you relax into this stretch. Breathe into it as I ring the singing bowl for 3 full breath cycles. Staying for another full breath here. And however you'd like, whenever you're ready, coming into a tabletop posture, keeping our shoulders and hips squared with our hands and our knees here. Going through a few rounds of our cat-cow. Inhale to drop your belly, look up, stretch up. Exhale to pull in, tuck into your cat posture. One breath, one movement. Again, just focusing on the pace of your own breath and allowing it to guide your movement here. And just going through a few more rounds of our cat-cow here for 3 more full breaths as I ring the singing bowl. The sound frequencies are not only reaching your ears, but they are moving through your entire body. Allow it to calm your nervous system, helping you get deeper into these postures. On your next breath out, go ahead and begin to sit onto your heels and walk your hands forward into an extended child's pose. Allow yourselves to get nice and heavy and settle into your child's pose as I ring the singing bowl. Relaxing your shoulders, any tension in your jaw. Feel your tailbone move closer to the mat and feel that nice shift in your energy here. On your next breath, sliding your hands back to sit back onto your heels in Thunderbolt, and then come to standing onto your knees, facing the long side of your mat if you'd like. Starting with our right foot, extending it out and planting it down, and left hand can reach down for the mat or a block, right hand reaching up, and then towards your left. Nice straight line from your right fingertips to your right toes. Exhale, sweep your right hand down, and sliding it down your right leg, reach up through your left hand to stretch over to your right. One more big breath in here, and exhale, sweep your arm down, bring your right knee in, and then just stepping out from our left leg, planting our foot onto the mat. Right hand reaching down, left hand reaching up, finding that stretch over to your right side. Using your next inhale to come back up so you can stretch over to your left side. Left hand on your leg, right hand stretching over. And one more breath before you bring your right knee back down. And you can turn to face the short side of your mat if you're not there already. Going into a small back bend here with our hands at our lower back, fingertips pointing down, elbows hugging in behind us. Take a nice deep breath and lift up through your chest as you look up or back. And yogi's choice to either stay in the small back bend, or if you have camel pose in your practice, you can venture into it. And wherever you are, just prioritizing a smooth, steady breath cycle for 3 full breaths. One more breath here. Start to make your way back into Thunderbolt pose with your hands onto your thighs, and just taking a few moments to notice how you feel at this time in this practice compared to how you felt before you started. And just to remove a bit of the tension in our necks from that posture, reach your right hand up nice and high before planting it on the left side of your head. And not pushing down, just really allowing it to rest there for a nice little stretch, and then switching sides. Finding our Chaturanga Dandasana from here. Step your hands forward, get into a high plank. Nice straight spine. You can drop your knees if you'd like. Hug your elbows in as you slowly lower down. Coming down all the way to the mat before lifting up through our chest, looking up into a upward dog or a cobra. And inhale to lengthen up as far as you'd like, coming down onto your forearms into Sphinx pose. Staying here for a few breaths. Closing your eyes if you'd like. Doing anything else that feels nice to you here, maybe looking left, right. Staying for another breath before planting your hands down. Come onto your toes and raise your waist up, downward dog. Maybe bending each knee to sort of settle deeper into this downward dog, relieving any tension in your legs. Breathing deep into those spaces behind your legs. And then on your next breath, looking up, either hopping or walking into Uttanasana, forward fold. Keeping your feet just as wide as your hips. And you can deepen this stretch by hooking onto your arms behind your legs. Your knees can be as bent as you'd like. Maybe looking left and right, up and down. So important to do these stretches to release tension in your spine. Inhale up for a half lift, reaching through the crown of your head. Exhale, lead with your chest back into your fold. And staying here for a breath. On your next inhale, ground through your feet, bend your knees, sweep your hands up as you slowly roll up. Maybe come onto your toes, maybe look back. Making our way back down, sweeping your arms out and up. Look up, stretch up, hinge from your hips, back into your fold. Maybe hooking onto opposite elbows, rocking side to side. Inhaling for a half lift. Just finding more length before exhaling back into your fold. Maybe hooking onto your elbows with the other arm on top, just swing side to side. Being with your breath. On your next inhale, come up for your half lift so you can go into your plank pose to go through your flow chaturanga. Meeting in downward dog. Look up to hop forward on your next breath. Just finding a moment of stillness before grounding down through your feet to slowly roll up your spine all the way up to standing, arms sweeping up, meeting at the top, and swan diving back down into your fold. Inhaling up, planting your hands down, and going back through your flow chaturanga. One breath, one movement. Or you can go straight into your downward dog, yogi's choice. And staying here, feeling that upward current of energy, that hasta bandha in our arms for 3 full breath counts. Letting our shoulders and head hang nice and heavy. Nice high peak at your waist. Breathing here. On your next exhale, coming onto your knees and then sitting onto your heels, right hand reaching up and then hanging down at your upper spine, left hand wrapping around to hook onto it. And if this is too intense for you, you can just grab onto your shirt or use your left hand to pull your right elbow gently towards your left. After finding your variation, anchor onto your breath. One more breath here before switching arms, sweeping your right hand down, left hand reaching up, either hooking onto your elbow or reaching for your hand behind you or your shirt. Long, smooth inhale, equal exhale. And when you're ready, after that last breath, coming back into your tabletop posture, and then slowly making your way back into downward dog, meeting there at your own breath pace. From downward dog, floating your right leg up nice and high, maybe stacking your hips, so bending at the knee, rotating your leg one direction, rotating it the other way, before bringing it back behind you and then stepping it forward. Dropping your left knee down, sweeping our arms up into low lunge, palms facing. On your next breath, reach up a little higher, then back. Exhale to cactus your arms, and then sweeping them at your sides and back up towards the sky. One breath, one movement. Exhale to cactus and sweep back up. Inhale to reach up and back for 3 full breaths at your own pace. Moving mindfully, slowly with the singing bowl. Finding stillness to slowly shift your hips back, getting into a half split here, straightening that front leg. Hands can be at your sides to support you. Inhale and leading with your chest, folding over that right leg. Just keeping your foot active, pointing your toes up to feel a nicer stretch in your calf. One more breath before rebending that front knee, planting your hands at the top of your mat so you can come into a runner's lunge and then spinning that back foot, squeezing your thighs together. Inhale, rising up into warrior one. And our goal is to keep our knees stacked right over our ankle. On your exhale, open your arms out to a T, face the long side of your mat, warrior two. Gazing over your front fingertips, sending your energy forward to reverse your warrior. Right hand sweeping up, left hand can hang. Sweep your arms up, spin your back foot so you're in a high lunge, and then planting your hands down, step your foot back into your downward dog. Full breath here. On your next inhale, left leg nice and high. Opening at the hips by bending our knee to rotate our leg one direction, the opposite direction. And left leg back before sending it forward, coming into that runner's lunge, dropping your right knee down, sweeping your arms up, low lunge. Inhale, stretch your arms a little higher and then back. Exhale, cactus your arms to sweep them down. Inhale to rise back up. One breath, one movement. And allowing yourself to get lost in this movement for 3 more full breaths. Like a moving meditation. One more breath here, and as you exhale, begin to shift your hips back as you plant both hands down at the top of your mat, straightening out that left leg to fold over it in your half split. And while prioritizing that length in your spine, breathe deep, sink deeper. One more breath, rebending that front knee. Coming back onto your back toes, spinning your back foot, aligning heel to arch, rising up, warrior one. Nice arrow straight arms, reach up higher, and exhale, warrior two. You can check to make sure your arms are aligned, your hips are square to the long side of your mat, and sending your gaze forward. Nice deep breath in, palm facing up to reverse your warrior. Bending deeper into that front knee. And releasing on your exhale, spinning your back foot, coming into a high lunge, and then planting both hands down, coming back into downward dog. And just staying here for a breath before sending your gaze forward, hopping into a forward fold. A deep breath in to rise up, arms sweeping up, maybe coming onto your toes. Exhale, hands to heart. Stepping your right foot back so you're facing the long side of your mat. Point both toes to each corner of your mat. Stand tall with your hands onto your hips and hinge into a wide-legged forward fold, leading with your chest. Letting your head and shoulders hang heavy. Staying with your breath. Inhale, lift up into a wide-legged half lift, and just doing a side lunge by walking our hands over to our left side and supporting yourself through your left arm. Right arm can reach up and stretch over to your left. Staying here for another breath before spinning to the front of your mat and coming onto your toes of your back foot, finding your way into pigeon pose. Inhale, reach up through the crown of your head before slowly exhaling down as far as you'd like for 3 full breaths. One more breath here. And while supporting yourself through your arms, you're going to lift up with your back foot so you can come into a runner's lunge, stepping your left foot onto the mat and then walking your hands to the long side of your mat to get back into that wide-legged forward fold. Inhale up for a half lift, and then we're going to walk over to our right side for a side lunge. Arms sweeping up, breathing here. keeping your right wrist protected by finding a lift through that right arm. Exhale your arm down and spin toward the back of your mat to find a pigeon pose on your right leg. So right ankle reaching towards your left wrist, and inhale to find length up first before exhaling down as far as you'd like for 3 full breaths. Meditating with your breath here in this posture, making any shifts to help you get more comfortable. Inhale, come up onto your hands if you're not there already. Supporting yourself through both arms equally and onto your back foot. Step onto your right foot and then walk your hands to the center, facing the long side of your mat, wide-legged forward fold. Exhale all of the air out before inhaling into a wide-legged half lift. And begin to heel-toe your feet in about 2 steps as you sit into Malasana Yogi Squat. And then dropping down onto your bottom, crossing at the ankles, hands onto your knees. And from here, just doing a few seated cat-cows, inhaling your heart forward, push yourself forward with your hands, exhale back to round your spine. And really moving into each posture at the very top of your breath so that you're experiencing it in its fullest expression. Staying in this moving meditation for 3 more full breaths. And then finding stillness here, we're going to rotate at our hips. Moving with your breath, first leaning toward your right, opening your heart forward, and then to your left, rounding back, and then just moving that way in one direction, allowing your shoulders and your neck to move naturally with these rotations. Really leaning into each side with intention. Pausing here and just starting to rotate that same way in the opposite direction. Breathing deep. Not worrying about how this looks, just letting go, surrendering into it, more focusing on how amazing it feels to your spine. And for a small back bend, step your hands back, lift up through your heart space, chin up towards the sky, and just affirming 3 things that easily come up that you'd like to open your heart to. More love, more clarity, more patience. And exhale, reach your hands forward to fold over your legs. And just breathing here for a moment. Coming up, switching the cross of your ankles just so you can get more comfortable here. And yogi's choice, you can keep your hands onto your knees for more grounding from this practice, or hands up for more energy, or you can bring your left hand on your heart, right hand on your belly. Settling in, finding grounding in whichever variation you choose. Start to quiet your mind, quiet your body, and quiet your breath. in the seated Shavasana. Staying nice and tall here, but searching for spaces in your body that can relax deeper. Allowing any thoughts to arise and then letting them go. Resting and restoring here for a few more breaths. Slowly coming back into your body, bringing your hands to your heart, and just going back and reminding yourself of the intention that you set for this practice. And with a small bow, just offering yourself gratitude to your mind, to your body, and your soul, for giving yourself the self-love that you can spread out into the world today. Namaste. I really appreciate you practicing with me today. Subscribe if you'd like to join me next time, and sending so much love your way.